Hey everybody, it's Wayne Nichols here to give you a portfolio update for week 3 of 2023. Lots to cover, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with my M1 portfolio, you can see for the week, I am down just under a percent. My current value is at 117,000 and I was down just over $900 for the week. One of the things that I really like about the M1 portfolio is it'll actually break down what the gains and or losses were for each of the slices in my portfolio. As you guys can see, I've got 4 slices: quarterly dividends, monthly dividends, long-term hold, and the ETFs. All of them were slightly down, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at my Robinhood portfolio. Remember, I've got 2 different brokerages. Robinhood, I'm primarily these days using to sell options, and my current portfolio is sitting at about a 383,000 value. I was up actually for the week about a 0.5%, which equated to about $1,930. Let's go back to M1 Finance and take a look at the buys that were made for the week. So let's click on activity and we'll narrow this down to trading only. We'll go ahead and focus on the 13th. No, I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and focus on the 17th, 18th, and 20th. And during my last video, there was hardly any dividends that I earned last week. And of course, no sooner did I release my video on Friday, I received a handful of dividends in my M1 portfolio. So in the first transaction of the week, which is Monday, remember I deposit $150 on a weekly basis. That's spread out across 3 days. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, I distribute $50. And so you can see here the first buy of the week was $78.72. So that means I had at least $28 plus in dividends. So that was nice. I was able to see those dividends again being distributed to my target allocated stocks where I have that higher percentage. I've mentioned this in previous videos. This year I am focusing in on long-term growth, right? Quality stocks, not quantity. And so it's the same 6 buys you guys are going to see here probably for the next several weeks. So Southern Company, Johnson & Johnson, Visa, Lowe's, Union Pacific, and ExxonMobil. For Wednesday, not a whole lot looks different. I had $50. Obviously, there was a 51-cent dividend. The same 6 stocks were also purchased. Take a look at this though. Friday, 7 buys were made, and so that's kind of encouraging because we're seeing that obviously as the 6 stocks you saw on Mondays and Wednesdays, right, they are slowly meeting their target allocation percentage, which means now we're starting to see a little bit more money get distributed to the other stocks that are in that long-term hold slice. So these were the buys that I made for the week. I also want to point out, I'm not going to show it in the interest of time, but one thing that I have set up on the Robinhood brokerage is I have a daily cost averaging for Costco as well as UPS. I am trying to get to 100 shares of both. And so right now, Costco, I currently on a daily basis, so Monday through Friday, I am buying $20 a day worth of Costco. And then on UPS, I'm buying $10 a day. Again, the goal being I slowly want to make 100 shares of each. All right, you guys know that I like to generate income by selling covered calls, and January is shaping up to be a fantastic month in which I am generating steady cash flow. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the action that happened this past week. I actually had quite a few positions that were set to expire on the 20th, which is Friday. And again, I'm continuing to see the share price go above the strike price. So anything that you see in orange means that I had to roll close that position. And what that means is if we look at Amazon, Apple, Google, Tesla, Microsoft, anything that I've had to roll clearly means that the stock price of those individual stocks continues to rise above the strike price. And that's a great thing because obviously I'm seeing stock appreciation in value. It's a bad thing though when you have a recovered call. If the share price goes above the strike price, you of course are going to have those shares called away, and that is not my strategy. I want to hold on to my shares of all the stocks that I'm selling calls against. So I am continuously rolling those positions And luckily, knock on wood, guys, I have not had to roll at a loss yet. So what that means is if I had to roll a position, yes, I had to buy to close that position for a loss. But when I simultaneously opened up the new position, there was, right, net positive premium on that transaction. And you can see here in the upper right hand corner, to date, I have sold a total of 76 covered calls, and I have made a total of $6,500. Now remember, there is an asterisk there until these positions are closed out early or they expire. Technically, this is considered gross premium, not net premium, but nonetheless, I'm doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the yearly options. I like to show where I'm at today versus where I was at in 2022. And I didn't even begin selling covered calls until March of 2022. So for January 2023, again, I've sold a total of 76 covered calls. I've made $6,500 plus. I also want to point out that I'm also selling cash secured puts. Certainly not as many as I used to. There's going to be a future video and I'm going to address cash secured puts. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and certainly the expensive. But just this week, I actually made a video on a cash secured put on Netflix. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and take a look at that. It follows the complete cash secured put transaction from start to finish. And I'm excited. You'll have to take a look and see if I was profitable or if I made a mistake. Spoiler alert, I was profitable. But you can see here between covered calls and cash secured puts for the year, again, we're not even completely through January, I have made just over $8,100. So for me, obviously more excitement with generating this income selling options. Why? Because I'm going to take, right, the profits. I'm going to take that $8,100 and I'm going to buy, right, dividend stocks, or I'm going to buy stocks in which I can sell covered calls and continue to generate that cash flow. So all in all, things are looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get into dividends now. So if I go to activity, let's go ahead and now focus on dividends, and let's go ahead and do a date range of the first so you guys can see only dividends that have come into my M1 for the month of January. And I think I talked about this with my first buy. So M1, I have $50 on Monday, $50 on Wednesday, $50 on Friday for a total of $150. So when my last video, which was the week 2 portfolio update, I didn't receive hardly any dividends last week. And of course, after I pushed out the video, no sooner Friday late afternoon, evening, I see that I earned quite a few dividends. So here they are. From the 13th, I got $1.23 from Horizon, $23.28 from Maine, 60 cents from O. So there's a few others here. What I'm really excited about, especially with my monthly payers, is having just pushed over all of my holdings, especially when it comes to monthly dividend stocks. All of my holdings were transferred over from Robinhood to M1. So these numbers, right? So Maine, Horizon, O Realty, Stag, we're going to see some significant numbers starting to come in as far as dividends received. And that's exciting because, again, my goal is to build up that long-term hold slice. I've got some quality stocks in there, and I'm just starting off. And so these incoming dividends, which what I hope to be a couple $100 a month, that's going to really compound when you add in, my weekly contributions of $150. So that was in M1. These are all of the dividends that I received so far in January. Let's go ahead and take a look at Robinhood. I am showing you all the dividends received from the app interface. And again, you're seeing, all right, Horizon for $66. I'll just highlight a few of these. You've got ADC, which is a monthly pair for 24 cents. Cube paid me my first dividend since owning them, which is $4.90. Here we have another monthly pair. Stag paying out $51. acre paid out. So, and we also can see that Robinhood does a pretty good job at showing some upcoming dividends that are coming out as well. Let's go back here to the web. I love this website, Track Your Dividends. I think I pay $100 per year, and I like that I can link multiple brokerages. More than that, though, at a simple glance, it breaks down my portfolio yield, my yield on cost, and probably most important, my annual income for all of my linked brokerages. So take a look here, guys, at my M1 Finance. It currently has me receiving just under $8,900 per year. In my Robinhood brokerage, you can see my annual income is at $4,300. So you take those two numbers, you guys know my goal for this year is to reach $15,000 in dividend income. And so I'm really excited about that. Something else I kind of want to point out, I go back to small goals, big victories. And if any of you are, sort of like in this beginning stage, you're like, man, it's only 40 cents that I'm making every quarter or 79 cents every quarter. One of the goals that I am sort of setting for myself so I can stay, positive and upbeat throughout the snowball and the compounding process is I will look at Track Your Dividends. And you'll see here I am sorted I guess it would be ascending order. And one of my lowest payers currently in my M1 is Visa. And of course, it stands to make sense because I don't even own a full share yet. But take a look here, guys. I'm only making 69 cents per year. So one of the goals that I have that I think I can reasonably make this month is I want every dividend payer in my portfolio to pay me at least $1 on an annual basis. So if you guys haven't thought about creating those smaller goals to get those bigger victories, that is something that you can do. Of course, I want to get to 15,000 in annual income. That's the big goal. But along the way, right, I'll take these smaller victories where I'm like, oh, this is cool, right? Like every stock in my portfolio does not pay me, right, anything under $1. And so when Visa hits that $1 annual income, range, then I'm going to say, all right, well, now I want all these stocks to pay me a minimum of $4 on an annual basis, which would mean every quarter, right? So we've got, typically 4 quarters, not typically, there's 4 quarters in a year. That's when dividends are typically paid out 4 times a year. So if my goal is to reach $4 for all these stocks, that means hands down, every time I receive a dividend, it is going to be a minimum of $1 or more. Let's go back to my spreadsheet here, and I want to show you how I'm doing for the entire year. Guys, this is what kind of gets me really excited and maintains the focus that I have to build, right, this dividend income. So right now in the month of January, so far I have received $497.73 in Robinhood. I've received $30.20 in my M1. That's a total of $527.93. Let's go ahead and plug that number into the January field of 2023. Guys, January is not even done yet, and I have already beat January of 2022 by $100+. So remember, you certainly can't compare your week 1 to my year 2 or my year 3, but this is the momentum that you are going to build. This is why I am detailing my journey. I want to be able to look back next year and I want to be able to say, holy smokes, I beat this number by however much money or percentage. And you can only do that if you're staying focused, you're daily cost averaging, you're doing your due diligence when it comes to the stocks that you're purchasing and how they fit into your portfolio as well as your long-term goals. But I am very excited about this. Admittedly, though, there's a long ways to go because you guys know I have a rather ambitious goal. So clearly, if 15,000 in annual dividend income is my goal, I need to start seeing some months where I'm making, far over $1,000 to be able to meet that goal. I think I can get there, and I know you can get there with your goals. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Be sure to subscribe and follow along. It's not just going to be portfolio updates. I've got a lot of great content coming your way, including an upcoming video where I'm going to break down my favorite monthly dividends, and I'm going to be talking about my journey as to how I paid off my mortgage, and I've been mortgage free for nearly a decade. So stay tuned on that, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.